mall. There's no crowded laughter echoing the hall. The winter air is steady outside the window frame, and the quiet feels familiar, though nothing looks the same. I remember crowded evenings, music in the air, but tonight the room is breathing without the usual flair. No ribbon on the doorway, no silver mistletoe, just the quiet hum of winter falling soft and slow. This Christmas I'm staying in, no noise, no rush, no crowd within, just the calm beneath my skin, letting stillness begin. This Christmas I don't need lights that flash or plans to lead, just a quiet space to breathe in everything I need. Snow is barely falling like a whispered tone. Streetlights draw a halo on pavement cold and lone. The season doesn't ask me to shine or overflow, it simply keeps on turning in a steady glow. There were years I chased the sparkle, trying to belong, filling every silence with another song. But now I find a comfort in something far more slow, a midnight without fireworks, a softer kind of glow. This Christmas I'm staying near the quiet truth I carry here. Nothing borrowed, nothing feared, only what is clear. This Christmas I don't race through expectations I can't chase. I let the stillness take its place in an unadorned space. Maybe joy was never louder than a breathing room. Maybe warmth was never measured by a crowded tomb. There's a strength inside the quiet of an unlit tree, when the snow keeps gently falling on a silent street. No dramatic elevation, no shining display, just a steady kind of patience, holding night at bay, like the sky before the morning, not afraid to rest in the hush of winter's turning. I feel my best. This Christmas I remain in the soft and silver rain. No need to entertain or explain. This Christmas I have found peace without a sound. Not lost and not unbound, just grounded. This Christmas before the dawn, before the night is gone, I know I've grown more than I've shown. This Christmas I can see the quiet part of me is all I need to be set free. And when the daylight rises through the frosted gray, I won't say I missed a moment or let it slip away, because in the silent winter, underneath the glow, this Christmas I learned to let myself grow.
Quiet and the restless, facing in the dark. One side wants to wonder, one side guards the heart. Both are in the mirror, both are part of me. One is full of questions, one just lets them be. Gentle and impatient, standing side by side. One is always searching, one prefers to hide. Neither is a stranger, midnight, they can both begin. Quiet and the restless, learning how to stay, not fighting for control, not turning away in the space between where the shadow sees. Quiet and the restless, finding a kind of peace. Quiet and the restless, under winter skies, not enemies in battle, just different kinds of eyes. In the hush of midnight, they slowly agree, both belong together inside of me. Strong and still uncertain, certain yet unsure. One builds quiet borders, one unlocks the door. Every contradiction, every silent plea is a conversation living quietly. Night does not divide them, it lets them overlap. The calm and the commotion share the same small map. Nothing has to conquer, nothing has to win. Both can stay together under steady skin. No need for a verdict, no need to decide. The quiet and the restless can stand side by side. Quiet and the restless, no longer torn apart, not rivals in a story, but chapters of one heart in the darkened room where the day has ceased. Quiet and the restless, learning how to release. Quiet and the restless, in the silver gray, not chasing after thunder, not pushing it away. In the steady glow of a calmer sea, quiet and the restless are both part of me. Maybe peace is not a victory, not a flawless state. Maybe it is understanding both the calm and weight, the urge to keep on moving, the wish to simply rest. Two different forms of courage living in one chest. One speaks in a whisper, one moves like a wave. One wants steady shelter, one is fiercely brave. But neither needs to silence the other in the night. They can share the breathing under softened light. Quiet and the restless, under fading gray, not torn by contradiction, not drifting far away. In the quiet turning of a deeper sea, quiet and the restless are becoming me. Quiet and the restless, neither wrong nor right, both are held together in the length of the night. When the morning rises, nothing will be lost. Quiet and the restless have already crossed. Quiet and the restless, staying in the flow, not fighting for direction, just letting both sides grow. In the calm of midnight, where the day has ceased, quiet and the restless have made their peace. The room is quiet now, only the ticking clock, a half-filled cup beside me, and papers left unlocked. Outside the rain is falling like it has all week. Nothing feels dramatic, planned to stay this late, but time moves in its way. One small task becomes another, and suddenly it's gray. The city far below me is softer than before, just scattered lights remaining across the distant floor. There's no rush, there's no race, just this hour, just this space. By the time this night is over, something small will change. Not a sudden revelation, not a grand exchange, just a little more understanding of where I stand. By the time this night is over, I will understand. By the time this night is over, the noise will settle down. Every anxious repetition will loosen its crown. And in the quiet after, where nothing has to prove, by the time this night is over, I will gently move. I used to think that progress had to feel intense, like a burst of inspiration or a bright defense. But sometimes it is slower than a falling rain. Sometimes it is steady and almost plain. The screen reflects the shadow of someone growing still, not chasing after every thought, not bending to each will. The hours do not judge me, they simply pass me by. And in their patient rhythm, I begin to try. No applause, no display, just another late hour turning gray. By the time this night is over, the weight will feel less tight. Not because it disappeared, but because I held it right, like a quiet conversation between doubt and grace. By the time this night is over, I will find my place. By the time this night is over, the edges will grow clear. Every overthinking pattern will soften here, in the calm of repetition, in the gentle flow. By the time this night is over, maybe growth is not a lightning strike, not a sudden open door. Maybe it is choosing to stay a little more when the mind keeps spinning and the world is small. Maybe strength is sitting still through it all. The night does not demand me to shine or to declare. It only gives a silence wide enough to share. Every unfinished sentence, every hidden fear can sit beside the window and simply be here. By the time this night is over, nothing may appear different to an outsider looking from out here. But inside, something shifts in a quiet way. By the time this night is over, I will stay. By the time this night is over, the sky will start to pale. The first thin line of morning will begin to trail, and I will close the laptop with a steadier hand. By the time this night is over, I will understand. By the time this night is over, not everything is solved, but something in the silence has gently evolved. No fireworks, no thunder, no headline to show. By the time this night is over, I will know. By the time this night is over, by the time this night is through, what felt heavy in the evening will feel lighter in the blue. Not because it vanished, but because I chose to sit with it until it slowly
born in the quiet gray. Before the morning wakes, before the city stirs, before the silence breaks, there's a softness in the air that no one tries to claim. Just a steady winter breath without a need for name. No crowded celebration, no echo in the hall, just the quiet light of dawn touching every wall. It doesn't shout its presence, it doesn't have to stay. It simply rests beside me in a gentle way. Born in the quiet gray, where nothing feels too loud. No shining spotlight overhead, no pressure from a crowd, just a calm beneath the skin that slowly finds its way, like a truth that's always been. Born in the quiet gray. There were days I chased a fire, trying to burn bright, thinking that the louder glow must mean the light is right. But warmth was never measured by how high it rose. It was found in smaller embers that only patience knows. The night is not an ending, it's not a closing door, it's just a softer chapter that asks for nothing more. No miracle descending, no thunder in the sky, just the steady pulse of time moving quietly by. Born in the quiet gray, where every breath is clear, no need for decoration, no borrowed atmosphere, just the quiet hum of focus before the day where something calm inside of me was born in the quiet gray. Maybe strength was never louder than a whispered tone, maybe light was never brighter than what the dark has shown. There's a rhythm underneath the stillness of the night, not demanding recognition, not asking to be right. It doesn't rush the sunrise, it doesn't fight the shade, it simply keeps on glowing without a grand display, like the moment just before the world begins to move, holding something fragile that doesn't need to prove. Born in the quiet gray, before the day begins, before the weight of expectation settles on the skin, there's a steadiness unfolding in a slower sway, and I feel something stronger. Born in the quiet gray, born in the quiet gray, where everything is small, no victory to measure, no fear of rise or fall, just a steady kind of presence that chooses not to stray, and I carry that with me from the quiet gray. You've been quiet all evening, tracing lines on the glass. There's a question in your breathing, like you're afraid to ask. I don't need a perfect answer, I don't need it loud, but I can feel the distance growing in the crowd.
I've been holding back the feeling, trying not to shake, like if I name it slowly, something else might break. We keep circling the moment, like we don't know keep pretending that nothing has begun.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let it turn to wait.
Don't have to wait.
We don't have to rush the truth, but we don't have to hesitate.
If there's something in between,
say it soft and straight.
don't let the silence wait.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let it close the gate.
We can take it step by step.
We don't have to escalate.
If there's something we should face, let's not be too late.
Don't let the silence wait.
I've been thinking of the nights when everything felt clear.
When every word between us felt easy to hear.
No careful calculation, no guarded tone.
Just a simple understanding that we were not alone. I don't wanna lose the rhythm we slowly built, not to fear or expectation or unspoken guilt. There's still something steady underneath the doubt. If we lean into the quiet instead of shutting out.
We don't need to fix it all, we don't need to decide, but we can't keep hiding from what we feel inside.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let it hard and cold.
We don't have to find
The end to say what we haven't told.
If there's something worth keeping, let's not let it fade.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let it turn to stone.
We don't have to solve a night
To know we are not alone. If there's something still alive.
silence wait.
Don't let the silence wait.
Maybe we were scared of words that sounded too exposed.
Maybe we were guarding wounds nobody else knows.
Maybe love is braver
When it speaks unsure. Maybe love is stronger when it isn't sure. We don't need perfection, we don't need a sign. Just a little honesty given time. Not louder, not brighter, not desperate or late. Just the courage to speak before we wait.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let it drift
We
away.
can't hold the fragile parts.
And let them stay.
If there's something still between, let's not hesitate.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let the silence wait.
Don't let it disappear.
We can't keep the light alive right here. If there's something we should say before it's too late. Don't let it fade. Say it low. Be unafraid. In the quiet of the night, we can choose our fate. Don't let the silence wait. Midnight eyes looking through the rain. City lights are flickering across the window pane. You don't have to say a word, I can tell the day was long. There's a quiet in your breathing, like a half-remembered song. Midnight eyes, holding something deep. Not quite ready to let go, not ready to sleep. There's a weight behind your focus, but you carry it with grace, like you're balancing the evening in a small and steady space. Midnight eyes, don't you look away. Let the silence settle, let it gently stay. You don't have to solve it all, you don't have to try. Midnight eyes, let the night pass by. Midnight eyes, stay here in the glow. your numbers change. Clock hands moving slowly, nothing feels strange. Every task in quiet order, every thought in line. There's a rhythm in the stillness, keeping you in time. Midnight eyes, don't be hard on you. Not every unanswered question needs a clearer view. Sometimes understanding is just allowing space for the mind to wander softly without losing pace. Midnight eyes, don't you close too soon. There's a gentle kind of clarity underneath the moon. You don't need a spotlight, you don't need surprise. Midnight eyes, trust the quiet rise. Midnight eyes, let the moment breathe. There's a softer kind of strength in what you don't achieve, in the steady repetition, in the simple tries. Midnight eyes, there's no need to disguise. Maybe every long night is not a test to win. Maybe it's an open page you slowly step within. Not a stage for proving, not a place to hide. Just a stretch of steady hours with you on your side. The rain against the window does not ask for more. It falls in quiet patterns like it did before. And somewhere in the ordinary something shifts inside. Not dramatic, not loud, just wide. Midnight eyes, when the sky turns gray, you will see the morning in a different way. Not because the world has changed or suddenly complies, but because you stayed awake with open eyes. Midnight eyes, let the night conclude. Carry what you've learned in a calmer mood. When the daylight finds you soft and wise, midnight eyes, you'll rise. Midnight eyes, still and bright, holding steady through the night. Midnight eyes, let it be. There's a quiet strength in staying.
You say the night feels heavier than it did before. Like every quiet evening is knocking at the door.
We sit across the table,
But something isn't clear.
there's distance in the silence,
Even when you're near. We've walked this road so many times, we know each turn by heart. But knowing every corner doesn't mean we're not apart.
There's comfort in the pattern, but comfort can grow cold when repetition slowly becomes what we both hold.
We don't need another fight, we don't need another blame. But we can't pretend tonight that nothing ever changed. This is not the love we knew, not the fire that once was true. It's quieter now and harder to move, like a song without its groove. We don't wanna let it fade, but we can't replay what we used to say. This is not the love we knew. I try to find the version
of us from years ago,
before the careful answers, before the steady slow.
when every touch was certain, every word was new. Before we learned the language of what we shouldn't do.
kind of safety that kept us from the fall. But somewhere in that safety, we stopped risking it all.
The nights are still familiar, the lights are still the same, but something in the feeling doesn't burn the way it came.
We don't wanna walk away, we don't wanna lose the ground, but we hear it in the space between each softer sound. This is not the love we knew, not the rush that pulled us through. It's gentler now, but something is loose, like a truth we can't excuse. We don't wanna let it fade, but we can't replay what we used to say. This is not the love we knew. Maybe we were chasing heat instead of something strong. Maybe we confused the spark for something lasting long. Maybe love is quieter than what we tried to prove. Maybe love is choosing still, even when it doesn't move.
We can learn a different rhythm, we can change the tone, not the echo of the past, but something of our own.
Not louder, not brighter, not desperate or new, but steady in the dark between me and you. This is not the love we knew, but it doesn't mean we're through. It's changing shape and asking us to find a deeper view. We don't have to chase the flame or run away from yesterday. This can be the love we choose. This is not the love we knew, but maybe it is true. Not built on sparks that quickly flew, but on what we can renew. If we stay and let it grow, if we move slow and let it show, this can be the love we choose.
Not the love we knew,
but the love we build, not the rush we chase, but the space we filled in the quiet after all the noise we made. Maybe this is how real love stays.
The room is dim but steady, a small lamp in the rain. The world outside is distant, like a softened train. I didn't mean to stay up this late again tonight, but something in the silence feels almost right. Every task before me is simple on its own, but stacked they feel like mountains when faced alone. Still the hours keep turning without a single sign that I am falling behind or running out of time. No flames, no fear, no sudden rise, just steady breath behind my eyes. Through the quiet, through the slow, through the moments when I don't know, through the doubts that come and go, through the weight I sometimes show, I will stay, I will move. Through the quiet I improve. Through the quiet, through the gray, through the late unspoken sway, not by force, not by fire, but by staying through the quiet. I used to think that courage had to burn so bright, like standing in a spotlight or winning every fight. But maybe it is softer than I believed before. Maybe it is sitting still and choosing not to roar. The rain against the window does not try to win. It falls in patient patterns again and again. And somewhere in that rhythm, a steadier thought before the start. Through the quiet, through the strain, through the echo of the rain, through the pressure, through the pace, through the shadow on my face. I will stay, I will learn. Through the quiet I return. Through the quiet, through the night, through the soft and fading light. Not by proving, not by higher, but by staying. Through the quiet. Maybe strength is repetition, done without applause. Maybe growth is understanding, hidden in the pause. Not a leap across the fire, not a desperate climb, but a steady, quiet crossing, one small line at a time. When the noise begins to fade and the sky begins to pale, I will see the effort in every small detail. Not because I conquered, not because I won, but because I stayed until it was done. Through the quiet, through the deep, through the nights I couldn't sleep, through the overthinking waves, through the doubts I couldn't save. I will stand, I will choose. Through the quiet I won't lose. Through the quiet, through the gray, through the slow unfolding day. Not through fire, not through flame, but through staying just the same. Through the quiet, through the rain, through the calm beneath the strain. When the morning light is near, I will find I am here. Through the quiet I remain. Through the soft and steady rain. No explosion, no display, just another focused day.
A quiet night like this, the air is clear and thin. No choir in the distance, no bright cathedral hymn. Just a window slightly open, letting winter in. And the gentle weight of silence resting on my skin. The sky is wide and empty, but it doesn't feel alone. Every distant star above is steady in its tone. No thunder in the heavens, no blazing holy sign, only the soft assurance that this moment's mine. Long have I been restless, running toward a light, thinking that salvation must arrive in sight. But peace was never shouted, it never split the sky. It waited in the breathing between the why and why. The world may still be turning with its urgent call, but here inside this stillness, there's no rush at all. The dark is not a burden, it doesn't have to fight. It simply holds its quiet through the length of night. Fall on your knees, not to worship fear, but to feel the ground beneath you, solid and clear. Lift up your eyes, not for a sign above, but to see the steady patience of a quieter love. Oh, night so calm, oh, night so slow, where nothing needs to overflow. In the hush before the dawn, I find There were years I searched for glory in a brighter flame. Tried to prove my meaning, tried to earn a name, but meaning never answered when I forced it near. It came when I surrendered to the space right here. The sky does not demand me to shine or to be grand. It simply keeps its distance and lets me understand that grace is not a lightning strike or some dramatic start. It's the steady kind of mercy that settles in the heart. Fall on your knees, feel the earth below, not in fear or trembling, but in letting go. Raise up your hands, not to reach the sky, but to release the tension you've been holding inside. All night so calm, all night so wide, where nothing needs to hide. In the quiet before the light, everything feels right. Fall on your knees, slowly rise, with gentler thoughts behind your eyes. Oh, night so deep, oh, night so kind. You leave no one behind. We've been sitting in the silence longer than we planned. Every word is measured, careful in our hands.
There's a tension in the air, but it isn't loud. Just something slowly building underneath the sound.
I can feel the hesitation
In the way you breathe, like you're holding something back you don't want to leave.
We don't need to raise our voices to understand.
There's a distance growing
Between
where we stand. We don't need a storm tonight, we don't need to shout, but we can't ignore what this is about. Why let it go before we try? Why say the word that sounds like goodbye if there's still a pulse in the quiet below? Why let it go? Why turn away before we see if this could be what it's meant to be? If there's still a spark, even soft and slow, why let it go?
I remember evenings
When the air felt light,
when staying close to you,
felt simple and right.
we didn't have to question,
Every little thing
we just let the moment
carry what it brings. I remember that too, and maybe that's the fear, that what we had before isn't standing here. But sometimes love is quieter than what it used to show.
Not a blazing fire, but a steady glow.
We don't need perfection, we don't need a sign, just a little honesty given time. Why let it go before we speak? Why call it lost when it feels this weak? Weak doesn't mean it's time to fall. Why let it go at all? Why close the door before it's done? Why choose the night before the sun? If there's something here we both still know, why let it go?
Maybe we're scared of change,
Maybe we're scared to stay,
maybe love is learning how
to bend but not to break away. We don't have to rush the end, we don't have to decide if there's still a place for us on the same side. Not louder, not brighter, not desperate or show, just something worth holding before we let
yourself a quiet little evening. Let your restless thoughts unwind. Close the door behind the daylight. Leave the rush outside. Take a breath and let it linger. Feel the steady air. There's no need for grand occasions, just the calm that's there. Have yourself a softer kind of moment. Dim the brightness of the room. Let the shadows draw their outlines in a silver hue. Every unfinished conversation can simply fade away. Nothing has to be decided, nothing pressed to stay. Let your heart be light, not in fireworks or display, but in the steady warmth that doesn't fade away. From now on, let the quiet guide your side. Have yourself a gentle little night. There were times you chased the sparkle, thinking that was joy, filling every empty corner with a louder noise. But peace was never in the glitter or the crowded cheer. It was waiting in the silence that you find right here. Let your heart be light in a softer, smaller way, not demanding to be seen or needing to persuade. From this night, let the pressure drift from view. Have yourself a calm that carries you. Let your heart be light as the hours slowly turn. There's a clarity and stillness that you didn't have to earn. From this night, let the quiet hold you tight. Have yourself a quiet little night. It's the most peaceful time of the night, when the city lights fade out of sight. There's no rush in the air, no loud voices to hear, only quiet wrapped up in soft light. It's the most peaceful time of the night, when the pages feel easier to write. With the lamp gently glowing and the steady wind blowing, everything seems to settle just right. It's the most wonderful hour to slow down when the world isn't pulling you around. There's a calm in the air, like the answers are there, waiting softly without making a sound. It's the most wonderful hour to breathe when there's nothing you have to achieve. No expectations to chase, just a comfortable space and the freedom to quietly believe. There are no crowded streets to outpace, no bright stages you have to face, just the hum of the room and a soft winter tune, moving steady with effortless grace. There are no flashing headlines to read, no impossible standard to meet, just the glow of the screen gently in beat. It's the most wonderful hour to slow down when the noise of the day can't be found. There's a warmth in the flow that begins to softly grow as your scattered ideas turn around. It's the most wonderful hour to see that the quiet is working for me. In the stillness I find a much clearer mind and a steadier version of me. Maybe magic was never in lights or here in crowded and glittering nights. Maybe strength is revealed when the silence is real and you sit with your thoughts without fights. There's a rhythm beneath all the calm, like a pulse resting deep in your palm. It doesn't rush to appear, it's been waiting right here all along in the warmth of the dark. It's the most wonderful time of the night when your focus is gentle but bright, not too heavy or slow, just a steady warm glow, holding everything softly inside. It's the most wonderful hour to be simply here in this clarity. No applause, no display, just the quiet that stays in the peace of becoming more free.
I never thought the evening could feel this calm and wide. Just a lamp against the window and you right by my side. No fireworks above us, no thunder in the sky, just the sound of breathing as the hours pass by. I never knew that stillness could feel this close and clear. Not a rush of bright emotion, just knowing you are here. The rain across the glass does not need to prove anything dramatic to make the night move. We don't need a sign, we don't need a spark. Sometimes what is steady outshines the dark. I never knew it was as quiet until you stayed. Not louder than the daylight, not a grand parade, just something in the silence that felt right. I never knew it was as quiet until tonight. I never knew it was as simple to just remain, not chasing after glory, not fighting through the strain, just a calm between the echoes, soft and bright. I never knew it was as quiet until tonight. I used to think that meaning came in waves of heat, that love had to be blazing to feel complete. But maybe it is softer than we believed before. Maybe it is choosing to stay a little more. I used to look for miracles in sudden shifts of light, but maybe they are smaller and happen out of sight. In the way we share a silence without turning away, in the steady rhythm of an ordinary day. No sudden flame, no wild surprise, just something gentle before I never knew it was as quiet until you stayed. Not a storm of promises, not words we overplayed, just a presence in the midnight, soft and right. I never knew it was as quiet until tonight. I never knew it was as certain without control, not perfect and not shining, but steady and whole, like a light that doesn't flicker out of sight. I never knew it was as quiet until tonight. hard to hold. Maybe we were measuring by stories we were told. Maybe what we needed was never loud at all. Maybe it was waiting in something small. Not a miracle descending from a distant sky, but a quiet understanding in the way we try to stay and not to scatter when the doubts arise, to see the light that lingers behind our eyes. I never knew it was as quiet until we chose to let the night unfold the way it goes. No drama in the distance, no need to fight. I never knew it was as quiet until tonight. I never knew it was as gentle to just remain through every passing minute, through every drop of rain. And if this is our miracle, it's small but bright. I never knew it was this quiet until tonight. Never loud, never wild, just the calm we reconciled in the quiet of the light. We found it here tonight.
If the evening feels too heavy and the daylight stayed too long, if your thoughts are moving faster than the place where you belong, if the room is full of silence that you don't know how to hold, you can find me here tonight. In the steady and the slow, there's no need for grand arrival, no need to call my name, just a quiet understanding that I'm here all the same, like a lamp beside the window that doesn't ask for more. You can find me here tonight with the calm you search for. You can find me here tonight in the middle of the gray, not demanding any answers, not asking you to stay. If the world feels loud and bright and you need somewhere to be, you can find me here tonight, where the quiet sets you free. If you're tired of pretending that the pressure doesn't grow, if you're holding every question but afraid to let it show, there's a space without performance, without needing to explain. You can rest inside this moment without turning it to pain. We don't have to name the future, we don't have to make it clear. We can let the hours open while the midnight lingers near. There's a comfort in the ordinary and letting silence breathe. You can find me here tonight in the calm beneath. You can find me here tonight when the edges start to blur, when the doubts are getting louder and the answers feel unsure. You don't have to fight the dark, you don't have to prove you're strong. You can find me here tonight, where you quietly belong. Maybe peace is not a promise, but a place you slowly choose. Not a sudden revelation, but a rhythm you don't lose. There's a patience in the waiting of a sky before the dawn. Not afraid of what is coming, not afraid of moving on. We don't need to rush the sunrise, we don't need to chase the flame. There's a steadiness between us that remains without a name, like a quiet conversation that doesn't need to shine. You can find me here tonight, anytime. You can find me here tonight in the softer shade of blue. Not a spotlight, not a fire, for a sign. Let it simply be this view. You can find me here tonight. Anytime you choose, you can find me here tonight. When the world is out of sight, when the noise has finally settled into something light, there's a steadiness that stays even when the day is gone. You can find me here tonight, and I will still be on. You can find me here tonight. In the quiet and the low, not asking for tomorrow, just letting this one glow. If you ever need a place where nothing feels confined, you can find me here tonight. Anytime.